My simp brother spent 30,000 bucks to have me go on a blind date with a rich woman in his place. He told me to pretend to be him and be completely submissive to her. I went, but I had no intention of acting like a lapdog. Instead, I was going to use my own methods to meet this gorgeous billionaire. Arriving at the restaurant, I spotted her right away. She was sitting by the window looking down at her phone, her fingers swiping rapidly across the screen. An exquisite little clutch sat on the table next to a glass of red wine that looked incredibly expensive. I pulled out a chair and sat right down. She looked up and looked me up and down from my messy hair to my wrinkled t-shirt, and finally stopped at my mud-splattered canvas shoes. Her brows furrowed almost imperceptibly. "You're G. Boda?" Her voice was a bit cold, like ice cubes dropping into a glass. I nodded without saying a word. A waiter came over and handed me a menu thicker than a brick. I flipped it open and took a look. I recognized all the words on it, but put together, I had no idea what kind of dishes they were. The prices next to them, however, I understood perfectly. The cheapest soup was 298 bucks. I snapped the menu shut. "Get me a bowl of ramen, the $6 kind." The waiter froze. His professional smile stiffened like a piece of plastic. Bai Ningbing, sitting across from me, also froze. She looked at me, and for the first time, a hint of real emotion showed in her eyes. It wasn't disgust, it was confusion. "Sir, we don't serve ramen here." The waiter's tone grew a bit impatient. "Forget it then. Just get me a glass of plain water. Make it hot." After saying that, I looked at Bai Ningbing and grinned. "Miss Bai, you're as kind as you are beautiful. How about you treat me to this meal? Money's been a little tight lately." The air went dead silent. Bai Ningbing stared at me, her beautiful eyes narrowing like a cat ready to pounce. I could practically hear my brother screaming in my head. "It's over, you idiot. There goes my 30,000. But honestly, I felt pretty damn good. Bai Ningbing didn't say a word. She just kept staring at me. Her gaze was sharp, like a scalpel wanting to dissect me from the inside out. I didn't back down either. I met her gaze head-on, picked up the plain water the waiter just brought, and took a sip. "You're quite different from the G. Boda I know." She finally spoke, her fingers gently tapping the table, one tap after another. "People change." I put down the glass, speaking with absolute confidence, especially when they're broke. She seemed to choke a bit on that response. A few seconds later, a tiny smirk suddenly tugged at the corner of her mouth. "How much money do you want?" Here it comes, the classic cliché. My brother had warned me 1,000 times that if she asked this, I had to act like money was dirt to me and say I was doing it all for love. I cleared my throat. "Not much, just the cost of this meal. I figure what you ordered plus that bottle of wine has got to be around 8 to 10 grand, right? I don't want to owe you any favors." Bai Ningbing laughed. "You're very interesting. I've seen men who want to milk me for money, and I've seen men who pretend to be above it all, but someone as shamelessly confident about mooching a meal as you're the first." "Mooching a meal isn't embarrassing." I picked up the napkin on the table and wiped my mouth. "What's embarrassing is acting rich when you can't even afford to eat." She waved her hand, calling the waiter over. "Get him a tomahawk steak, medium, and open a bottle of Romani Conti." After she finished, she looked back at me. "My treat today, but I have a question." I made a go-ahead gesture. "Who exactly are you?" She leaned forward slightly, and that pleasant fragrance drifted over again. "G. Boda isn't like you. He doesn't have the guts." My heart skipped a beat. Busted already? But I didn't let it show on my face at all. "I am G. Boda. If you don't believe me, you can check my ID." She shook her head. "No need. No matter how well a person disguises themselves, their eyes won't lie. His eyes are filled with greed and a desperate need to please. But in your eyes," she paused, seemingly searching for the right word, "it's hurry up, eat, and get the hell out of here." I couldn't hold back a laugh. "Miss Bai, that's not very fair. My stomach is practically touching my spine from hunger. Of course, I'm thinking about eating and leaving." The steak arrived. It was a massive cut, bone-in. I picked up my knife and fork, clumsily cut a small piece and popped it into my mouth. "Tasted all right, just a little raw." "Aren't you afraid of making me angry?" She picked up her wine glass, gently swirling the red liquid inside. "Pissing me off won't do you any good." "I'm terrified." I swallowed the beef in my mouth and took a sip of water, but being scared doesn't mean I should starve. Besides, what are you going to do to me? Have someone beat me up or make me disappear from this city? I looked at her and said very seriously, Miss Bai, we're all adults here. You sought out my brother simply because he's naive and easy to control, able to satisfy some of your special needs. And my brother sought you out simply for your money. We're all selling something here. It's just that the goods are different. So why play innocent? My words were blunt and pretty ugly. I watched her expression grow colder by the second. Do you have any idea what you're saying? All the amusement had vanished from her voice, leaving only a freezing chill. I know. I kept cutting my steak, eating with relish. I'm telling the truth, and the truth is never pretty. Do you have a death wish? Those words were practically squeezed through her gritted teeth. I put down my knife and fork, wiped my mouth. Nope. I looked her dead in the eye and said word by word, I just want to live well without acting like somebody's lapdog. The two of us just stared at each other. The air was thick with the smell of gunpowder. I figured my $50,000 were completely gone. Hell, I might even catch a beating. But strangely, I wasn't panicked at all. I was actually a little thrilled. After a long time, she suddenly picked up her phone and dialed a number. Hello. Look someone up for me. Yes, G. Bodeo. Get me all his files, including whether he has any brothers. Hanging up the phone, she picked up her wine glass again and took a sip. Now let's play a game. Before my people dig up your background, you'd better come up with a damn good story to convince me why I shouldn't throw you out this window. I followed her gaze and glanced out the window. A drop from the 38th floor. I probably wouldn't even leave a recognizable shape behind. I picked up my water glass and took another sip. All right, let's chat. If I tell a good story, can I get this steak to go? Bai Ningbing stared at me, stunned for 3 seconds, and then she laughed again. This time she laughed even harder than before, almost to the point of tears. Bai Ningbing's phone rang very quickly. She answered it, just said, Mom, then hung up and looked at me. G. Bodeo Chang, G. Bodeo's twin brother, unemployed, makes a living doing odd jobs. Spit it out. How much did he pay you to come here and dig your own grave? I stabbed the last piece of steak and shoved it into my mouth. Just for 50,000. You dare talk to me like this? She raised an eyebrow, seemingly finding the number a bit ridiculous. What else? For love. Miss Bai, do you buy that? She fell silent, just watching me with those probing eyes. Just then, a commotion broke out at the restaurant entrance. 2 men and a woman walked in. The man leading the group was wearing a flashy white suit. His hair slicked back so shiny, it looked like a cow had just licked it. Ningbing, so this is where you are. As soon as he came over, he tried to grab Bai Ningbing's hand. She dodged him seamlessly. His gaze landed on me, filled with undisguised hostility and contempt. This is my friend. Ji Boda, Bai Ningbing said coolly, but her eyes were on me as if waiting to see how I'd react. Friend. I chewed on the word in my head. The heavily made-up woman next to white suit giggled. Ningbing, your friend dresses so plainly. Which street did you pick him up from? As soon as she said that, the 3 of them burst out laughing. I wasn't mad. I just thought she looked a bit ugly. I picked up my plain water, took a sip, and then looked at the heavily made-up woman. Your nose is crooked. The woman's laughter stopped abruptly. She instinctively reached up to touch her nose. What nonsense are you spouting? No nonsense. I looked at her very seriously. The implant at the bridge of your nose is a little off-center. And did you get your chin done too? The angle is a bit weird. I suggest you go get a revision. Otherwise, it might leak when it rains. The woman's face instantly turned the color of pig liver. The faces of the men beside her also turned ugly. Only White Suit managed to maintain his composure, but his eyes had turned ice cold. You've got quite a mouth on you, friend. May I ask where you work? On the curb. I told the honest truth. Profession? Pondering life and starving. Bai Ningbing couldn't hold back and burst out laughing. White Suit's face completely fell. Ningbing, where did you find this clown? His tone carried a hint of interrogation. Does someone like this even deserve to sit and eat with you? Bai Ningbing swirled her wine glass. Speak. She was tossing the ball back into my court. I stood up. I was half a head taller than White Suit. I looked down at his greasy, slicked-back hair. There's a fly on your head. He froze for a second. No, there isn't. Oh, maybe I saw it wrong. I sat back down and picked up my water glass again. Or maybe your head is just too shiny and it reflected the light. White Suit's fists instantly clenched. You. He pointed at me, too furious to speak. Young Master Joe, don't get mad at a guy like this. The other man quickly tried to smooth things over. He looked at me, his eyes full of calculation. You look unfamiliar, brother. What big business are you in? Anyone who catches Ning Bing's eye definitely isn't ordinary, right? This was a classic setup to watch me fall. If I climbed up the pole he handed me, I'd end up looking like a fool. I shook my head. No big business, just running errands for people, making some hard-earned cash. Oh, what kind of errands? White suit. Young Master Joe suddenly looked interested. He thought he had caught my weakness. Let's hear it. Maybe we can learn a thing or two from you about how to win Ning Bing's favor, like going on blind dates for other people. After I said that, I deliberately glanced at Ning Bing. Her eyes flickered for a moment but quickly returned to calm. Young Master Joe's face, however, became extremely colorful. Blind dates? Ning Bing, you. Ning Bing finally spoke up. Joe Kai, since when is my business any of your concern? Her voice wasn't loud, but it was freezing cold. If you've got too much time on your hands, go run a few laps outside. Don't be an eyesore here. Joe Kai's face flushed red, then pale. He glared at me viciously, looking like he wanted to eat me alive. Fine. Good. Ning Bing, you win this round. He dropped the threat, turned around, and stormed off. The other two quickly scurried after him. The restaurant returned to its quiet state. You really do have a lot of nerve. Ning Bing looked at me, and I couldn't tell if it was a compliment or sarcasm. Mostly they're just too stupid. Aren't you afraid he'll retaliate? Joe Kai's family is in real estate. They have some power locally. I am. I sighed. That's why I need to leave right now. Miss Bai, can I get that steak to go now? I'm afraid if I don't leave now, I won't be able to. Ning Bing looked at me and suddenly asked a completely unrelated question. Jibo Chang, do you want to make some money? I answered honestly, hell yeah. I dream about it. Good. She took out a business card and placed it on the table. Come find me at this address tomorrow at 10 a.m. I'm very satisfied with your performance today. I have a job that's perfect for you. After saying that, she turned and left. I stared blankly at the black, golden embossed business card. It only had an address, a surname, and a phone number. I picked up the card, then looked at the active half-eaten tomahawk steak on the table. The waiter was already walking over with a to-go box. I suddenly felt that tonight's meal might be worth a lot more than I imagined. The next day, I pocketed the business card and arrived at the designated location on time. It was Ning Bing's company. The receptionist was very pretty. Seeing me, she gave a professional smile and asked who I was looking for. I handed her the business card. She took one look at it and her smile instantly became respectful. Mr. G, President Bai is already expecting you. Please follow me. I followed her through a massive open-plan office area. Everyone was buried in their work, keyboards clacking away, but no one even glanced up at me. Ning Bing's office was at the very back. Pushing the door open, Ning Bing was sitting behind a massive desk reading documents. Seeing me walk in, she pointed to the chair across from her. Sit. I sat down and took in her office. It was huge and spacious. The decor was a cold palette of black, white, and gray, just like her, completely devoid of warmth. What do you want to drink? She asked without looking up. Plain water. She pressed the intercom and had someone bring water in. Only then did she put down the documents in her hand. Did you sleep well last night? Not bad, except the leftover steak got a bit cold. I heated it up in the microwave, but the texture wasn't great. She was amused by my answer. Jibo Chang, I'll keep this brief. I need a boyfriend. She deliberately emphasized the word boyfriend. I took a sip of water and stayed quiet, waiting for her to continue. As you saw, flies like Joe Kai are constantly buzzing around me. My family is also pressuring me, setting up all sorts of boring blind dates. It's incredibly annoying. So, you need someone to act as a shield to fend off all these troubles. I finished her sentence for her. Smart. And you're the perfect fit. Why me? Because you've got guts. You're shameless and you don't play by the rules. But most importantly, there's no greed in your eyes. I've seen too many men. When they look at me, all I see in their eyes is money. But not you. When you look at me, your eyes only scream steak. I actually couldn't argue with that logic. She continued, what I need you to do is very simple. Show up when I need you, play the role of my boyfriend and chase away every man who tries to get close to me using your own methods. Sounds like a bodyguard moonlighting as a meat shield. You can think of it that way. Of course, it's not for free. She pulled a contract out of her drawer and slid it over to me. Sign it. 100,000 a month plus for every problem you successfully resolve for me, a 50,000 bonus. 100,000 a month. I stared at the number on the contract, feeling my breathing get a little unsteady. I worked my ass off doing odd jobs all month and made 5 or 6 grand at most. How many bricks would I have to haul to make 100,000? Are there any restrictions on the job? I tried my best to make my voice sound calm. Yes. First, absolute secrecy. No one can know this is an employment relationship, including your brother. Second, you're on call, available 24/7. Third, and most importantly, you are not allowed to actually fall in love with me. As she stated the final rule, her eyes turned dead serious. I am a businesswoman. I don't do romance. Between us, there's only a transaction. Without a second thought, I picked up the pen and signed my name at the bottom of the contract. Fall in love with her? What a joke. I'm too lazy to even love myself, let alone someone else. As long as she pays me, forget playing her boyfriend. I'd even play her dad. She put the contract away and nodded in satisfaction. From now on, you are my boyfriend. To make you look a bit more presentable, someone will take you shopping for a new wardrobe this afternoon. Here's a card. There's no password. She handed over a black card. Also, here are the car keys. She tossed over a set of car keys. Down in the garage, zone B3. That black G63 is yours. I don't want my boyfriend taking cabs everywhere. Gripping the card and keys in my hand, it all felt a bit surreal. I was stressing over an $8 bowl of ramen. Today, I'm making 100K a month with a car and a black card. This world is so magical. Any other questions? Yeah. I stood up. President Bai, it's lunchtime. As your newly appointed boyfriend, can I grab lunch with you? I haven't tried your company cafeteria yet. Bai Ningbing was stunned. She probably never expected that my very first request after taking the job would be to mooch another meal. She stared at me for several seconds before shaking her head helplessly. Our company doesn't have a cafeteria. Then she picked up the intercom. Shaolin, order 2 set 50 meals from Yuning restaurant and have them sent to my office. Hanging up the phone, she looked at me, her eyes filled with a resigned, I give up look. Jibo-chang, I'm starting to regret this. I think I might have just bought myself a huge headache. I laughed. Don't worry, President Bai. I've got professional ethics. You pay me, I do the job. It's only natural. You feed me, I sweat your flies. Fair trade. Driving that Mercedes G-Wagon that was worth more than my life, I headed back to my rundown apartment complex. The car was too big and the complex's roads were too narrow. I struggled for ages before finally squeezing the car into a tight corner. Along the way, I drew the stares of countless old men and women. My brother, Jibo Duo, was squatting outside my door. Seeing me, he lunged over like I was his savior. Bo Chang, where did you go yesterday? I called you and you didn't pick up. Did you screw everything up? Miss Bai didn't have someone break your legs, did she? I pulled out my keys and unlocked the door, ignoring him as he followed me inside. The moment he saw the suit shopping bags I had tossed on the sofa, printed with logos I didn't even recognize, his eyes went wide. Where did you get the money for all this? You only gave me 30 grand. I got an advance. 30 grand can buy all this? He picked up a shirt, checked the price tag and gasped. 5 figures for a single shirt. He stared at me like I was some kind of monster. No way. Tell me the truth. What exactly did you do yesterday? Did you do that with Miss Bai? Is this your hush money? I almost choked on my water. Can you think of something normal for once? We're together now. It's official. Jibo Duo's mouth opened wide enough to fit an egg. How did that happen? Weren't you supposed to go mess things up? How could she fall for a broke guy like you? Maybe she just likes my type, okay? I couldn't be bothered to explain it to him. Anyway, from now on, I'm her boyfriend. So, your thing is busted. Jibo Duo slumped onto the floor, his eyes completely hollow. It's over. My goddess, my wealth and glory all gone. Seeing him act so pathetic, I kicked him. Get up. It's just a woman, is it really that serious? She's not just a woman, he roared at me. He's a walking money printer, a ticket to high society. What the hell do you know? I really don't. I nodded, pulling the G63 car keys out of my pocket and dangling them in front of his face. I only know this. G. Boda's eyes instantly glued themselves to the keys. Is that a Mercedes? His voice was trembling. Yeah, a gift from Bai Ningbing. Said it's for me to get around. I tossed the keys onto the table. She said my old ride was too shabby and didn't match her status. G. Boda crawled over, holding the car keys like a sacred decree, examining them over and over. A G-Wagon. It's really a G-Wagon. Oh my God. He suddenly looked up and the way he looked at me completely changed from disdain to absolute worship, even carrying a hint of fanaticism. Bro, you're my actual brother. He hugged my thighs, snot and tears running down his face. Teach me. How the hell did you do it? What kind of magic potion did you feed her? I pushed him away in disgust. There's no secret. I just let her see your true colors and it turns out she finds me a bit more pleasing to the eye. Impossible. I wrote poems for her. I sang love songs for her. I said good morning and good night every single day without fail. How could she? Those poems you wrote were copied from the internet, right? And your love songs were so out of tune they reached the Pacific Ocean, right? I ruthlessly exposed him. G. Boda, your biggest problem is that you're not genuine. You don't love Bai Ningbing. You love her money. She's seen plenty of guys like you. G. Boda went silent as if I had hit the nail on the head. What about you? Don't you love her money? I do. I answered openly and honestly, but I love it out in the open. I told her straight up that I'm after her money and she told me straight up that she just needs me as a meat shield. We're moving towards each other, each getting what we need. G. Boda stared at me blankly as if he was meeting me for the first time. No way. You've changed. People always change. I repeated the words I had said to Bai Ningbing yesterday, saying them once more. Especially when someone is willing to pay you 100 grand a month. I patted his shoulder. All right, stop crying. I've got your back from now on. Tell me, how much cash do you need right now? G. Boda's eyes instantly lit up. He rubbed his hands together and chuckled slyly. Not much. I just have my eye on some limited edition sneakers and Shaoli needs a new bag. I looked at his pathetic state and shook my head. Being a simp is truly carved into his bones. He'll never change. On my third day as Bai Ningbing's boyfriend, I received my first official mission. There's a charity banquet tonight. You're coming with. Bai Ningbing's voice on the phone was very calm. Not going. I was lying on the sofa playing a game, right on the verge of winning. Zhao Kai will be there too. He's been chasing an actress lately, and he's planning a public proposal at the banquet tonight. Oh well, wish him luck. I missed a skill and got counter-killed by the enemy. I don't want him to succeed. That actress is a newly signed artist at my company. She has a lot of potential. I don't want her ruined by a scumbag like Zhou Kai. So, what do you want me to do? Ruin the proposal. I want you to make his proposal as disastrous as possible. Make sure neither he nor that actress can save face. That's going to be a bit tough. I rubbed my chin. Got to pay extra. 100 grand. Deal. I decisively quit the game. Send me the address. Mission guaranteed. Hanging up the phone, I whistled as I went to the closet to pick out an outfit. That pile of suits Bai Ningbing bought me was finally coming in handy. That evening, driving the G-Wagon, I showed up right on time at the banquet hotel entrance. When I tossed the keys to the valet, I felt like my entire life had leveled up. Bai Ningbing was already waiting for me. The moment she appeared, she was the center of attention. I walked up to her and naturally linked my arm with hers. Her body stiffened for a second but quickly relaxed. Not bad. You actually look the part. I winked at her. I'm a professional, okay? As soon as we walked in, Zhu Kai's gaze locked onto us like a spotlight. He was standing with an actress in a white tulle dress who looked very pure and innocent. Seeing me arm in arm with Bai Ningbing, his face instantly darkened. Ningbing, you actually brought him? I brought my boyfriend to a banquet. Is there a problem? Zhou Kai's face grew even darker. The actress next to him looked me up and down curiously. Her eyes carried a hint of evaluation. Young Master Zhou, is this Sister Bing's boyfriend? He's quite handsome. Zhou Kai scoffed coldly. Handsome? He's just a gigolo living off a woman. I ignored him and looked at Ensure instead. Missin, right? I've seen your work. Ensure's eyes lit up. Really? Which one? The one where you played a female college student trafficked to a mountain village who ends up falling in love with her kidnapper. Her smile froze on her face. That movie was her dark history, heavily blasted by netizens online. I think you acted incredibly well, I said with absolute sincerity. Especially at the end when you cried and yelled. Even though he beats me and scolds me and won't let me leave, he gave me a home. That part was simply award-winning acting. You portrayed Stockholm Syndrome flawlessly. Her face was beyond just looking awful. Bindingbing's shoulders were shaking. She was trying really hard to hold back her laughter. Joe Kai was so mad he wanted to hit someone. Do you know how to speak? Did I say something wrong? I put on an innocent face. Isn't that movie Miss N's masterpiece? I think it's a testament to her acting skills. People around us were already whispering. Her eyes turned red and she looked at Joe Kai on the verge of tears. Kai, he's bullying me. Joe Kai's heart ached for her. He pointed at me. You just wait. With that he pulled her away. Good job. Bindingbing handed me a glass of champagne. The appetizers are over. The main course is about to be served. Are you ready? I clinked my glass against hers. The word ready isn't in my dictionary. I prefer to improvise. Halfway through the banquet, the host suddenly used an incredibly excited voice to announce that a very romantic moment was coming up next. The lights dimmed. A spotlight hit the center of the stage. Joe Kai, holding a massive bouquet of roses, got down on one knee. He looked at Anshi with deep affection. Anshi, meeting you is the luckiest thing that's ever happened to me. He started reciting those incredibly cheesy lines. Anshi's eyes welled up with tears, looking absolutely moved to the core. The entire venue fell silent, ready to witness this romantic proposal. Bindingbing nudged my arm. Your turn. I nodded, picked up a cake plate from the table and hurled it at the stage with all my might. The plate traced a beautiful arc in the air and smashed with pinpoint accuracy right onto Joe Kai's shiny, greased-up head. Cream and cake crumbs splattered all over his face. The entire venue fell dead silent. Everyone was dumbfounded. Under the spotlight, Joe Kai had a brown chunk of tiramisu sitting on his head. Cream dripped down his cheeks. Hanging off the bridge of his nose, looking exactly like a pile of bird crap. The roses in his hands dropped to the floor, and the diamond ring meant for the proposal went rolling off to the side. Who the hell did this? Joe Kai's roar shattered the dead silence. I slowly stood up, still holding a fork in my hand. My bad, my hand slipped. I put on an apologetic face. The plates here are just too slippery. Couldn't get a good grip. Every single eye instantly locked onto me. There was shock, confusion, and schadenfreude. When Joe Kai saw it was me, his eyes turned bloodshot. Like an enraged bull. You? It's you again, motherfucker. He shoved through the crowd, charging at me like a madman. Several security guards quickly rushed up to hold him back. Let me go. I'm going to kill him. Joe Kai was still struggling and Ensure finally snapped out of it too. She lifted her dress and ran over, pointing at my nose and screaming, You did that on purpose. Why did you ruin Kai's proposal? I really didn't mean to. I looked at her, my eyes completely innocent. I just thought young Master Joe kneeling on one knee looked a bit like Grandpa Wong who fixes shoes downstairs at my place. I was so mesmerized by it, the plate just accidentally flew out of my hand. Hearing this, the crowd burst into laughter, pointing and gossiping at Joe Kai with cake on his head. Ensure's face flushed bright red with anger, tears welling up in her eyes. You're shameless. You can eat whatever you want, but you can't just say whatever you want. I acted righteous. I'm just an innocent bystander. If you want to blame someone, blame this proposal for being so touching that I couldn't control myself, or blame the hotel for having substandard plates. The hotel manager ran over, sweating profusely. Young Master Joe, Mr. G, let's talk this out. Let's just talk this out calmly. Talk my ass. Joe Kai shoved the manager aside. Today it's either him or me. Bai Ningbing stepped forward. She looked at Joe Kai coldly. Joe Kai, are you done making a scene? Ningbing, you're still defending him? Joe Kai looked at her in disbelief. After what he did, you're still defending him. What kind of spell did he cast on you? He's my boyfriend. Bai Ningbing's tone left no room for argument. You're threatening to kill my boyfriend right in front of me. Do you think I just sit back and watch? She paused, her gaze sweeping across the room. What happened today was an accident. If anyone dares to go out and gossip about this, don't blame me for not holding back. Her voice wasn't loud, but it carried an irresistible authority. The laughter in the hall gradually died down. Zhou Kai looked at Bai Ningbing, then at me, his expression looking as sick as if he'd swallowed a fly. With Bai Ningbing protecting me, he couldn't touch me today. Fine. He squeezed the words through his teeth. Just you wait. With that, he yanked the cake off his head, grabbed the still sobbing Ensure, and stormed off without looking back. A grand proposal ceremony had turned into a complete and utter farce. The banquet couldn't continue. Guests left in twos and threes, not forgetting to glance back at me as they walked out, their eyes filled with complex emotions. I followed Bai Ningbing out of the hotel. Once in the car, she handed me a check. 100 grand. Your performance today exceeded my expectations. I took the check and whistled. Mostly because young Master Zhou cooperated so well. That head of his was like a bullseye. Felt really good to throw at. Bai Ningbing started the car without smiling. She looked straight ahead and suddenly said, Ji Buochang, you offended Zhou Kai to the core today. He won't let this go. I know. So what? I've got you covering me anyway. I said it like I had nothing to lose. Bai Ningbing turned to look at me. You trust me that much? Who else would I trust? I stuffed the check into my pocket. We're now grasshoppers tied to the same rope. If I drown, you're swallowing some water too. Bai Ningbing fell silent. The car drove fast, the night scenery outside the window blurring past. After a long time, I heard her mutter under her breath, Ji Buochang, you really are a madman. I smiled. Thanks for the compliment. After ruining Zhou Kai's proposal, I had a few peaceful days. Every day I drove the G-Wagon to the market for groceries, then played games at home. Life was better than a god's. Ji Boda came over a few times, kissing up to me every time, hinting that he wanted me to show him the high life, and trying to squeeze some cash out of me while he was at it. I brushed him off every time. One day I was playing chess with Grandpa Jiang from the neighborhood when Bai Ningbing called again. Yeah. Come to my house right now. Her voice sounded more irritated than usual. Trouble? Worse than trouble. My family is here. I hung up, called checkmate to Grandpa Jiang, and drove my G-Wagon straight to Bai Ningbing's house. She lived in a high-end villa district with security as tight as a military base. I gave them Bai Ningbing's name and the guards finally let me in. Her villa was huge with a yard and a swimming pool. When I walked in, the living room was full of people. A very authoritative-looking middle-aged man, probably Bai Ningbing's father, a well-maintained middle-aged woman sighing non-stop, probably her mother. Next to them sat a young man around 27 or 28 dressed very sharply but with a shrewd, calculating look in his eyes. Bai Ningbing sat on the sofa looking unwell. Seeing me walk in, everyone's eyes locked onto me. Is this the boyfriend you were talking about? The middle-aged man spoke up, his voice booming, carrying the commanding presence of a corporate boss. Bai Ningbing nodded. Mom, Dad, brother, let me introduce you. This is my boyfriend Zubo Chai. I smiled at them as a greeting. Hello, Uncle, Auntie. Hello, brother. No one responded. Her mother looked me up and down, her eyes like X-rays. Young man, what does your family do? My parents are ordinary workers. They're retired. Oh. She dragged out the word, her disappointment completely undisguised. And where do you work? I don't have a job. Unemployed for now. As soon as I said that, the air in the living room dropped a few degrees. Her brother sneered. A jobless bum? Ningbing, are you kidding me? You found a boyfriend and this is what you picked? Bai Yang, watch your mouth. Am I wrong? Bai Yang threw his hands up. A broke kid with no job and no background. Don't you know what he's after? You've completely disgraced the Bai family. My business is none of your concern. Seeing the siblings about to start a fight, her father finally spoke up. Enough. He slammed the table and the living room instantly went quiet. He looked at me, his eyes sharp as an eagle's. Zubo Chai, right? I don't care who you are or what methods you use to get close to my daughter. I'm giving you a choice. He pulled a checkbook from his pocket, scribbled a string of numbers, tore it off and threw it on the table. Here's 1 million. Take it and leave. Never appear in front of my daughter again. The classic trope. To be honest, looking at that check on the table, I was tempted. I'd never seen that much money in my life. Bai Ningbing's eyes were complex. There was tension, anxiety, and a hint of something I couldn't understand. Everyone in the living room was watching me, waiting for me to make a choice. I picked up the check and right in front of everyone tore it in half. Uncle, you might have misunderstood. I'm not with Bai Ningbing for her money. Bai Yang looked like he'd heard the biggest joke in the world. Not for money? Then what for? For her? Give me a break. I've seen plenty of guys like you. I nodded at him. I admit it, I am here for her. I turned to look at Bai Ningbing, my eyes suddenly turning incredibly affectionate. I love her. I love her kindness. I love her strength. I love everything about her. In my heart, she is priceless. Forget 1 million, even if it were 10 billion, 100 billion, I wouldn't trade her. I spoke with such genuine emotion I almost believed it myself. The living room was dead silent. Bai Ningbing's parents and brother all looked at me like I was a psychopath. Only Bai Ningbing had her head down. I couldn't see her expression, but I saw her shoulders trembling slightly again. I knew she was trying not to laugh again. Crazy. He's completely crazy. Her mother muttered to herself. Her father's face was as black as the bottom of a pot. Fine. Fine. Not for money. He laughed out of sheer anger. I want to see how long you can keep up this act. Starting today, I'm cutting off all of Ningbing's cards. I've already notified the company to freeze all her stock dividends. You won't get a single cent. Let's see if you can still love a Bai Ningbing who has absolutely nothing. You not for money boyfriend. Her mother quickly followed him out, glaring fiercely at me before leaving. Bai Yang patted my shoulder, lowering his voice. Kid, you've got balls. But I suggest you quit while you're ahead, or you won't even know how you died. With that, he left too. I slumped onto the sofa and let out a long breath. Handled. So how was it? How was my acting just now? Think I could win an Oscar for that? Bai Ningbing looked up. Her eyes were a little red, but she had a smile on her lips. Ji Buchang, you've caused a huge mess for me again. I shrugged. You asked for it. So what's the plan now? Are you really completely broke? Pretty much. She nodded, but her expression was very relaxed. But I won't starve to death. She reached out her hand to me. Let's go. The penniless CO Bai is treating her not in it for the money boyfriend to some street food. I hesitated for a moment, then grasped her outstretched hand. Her palm was very warm. After that day, Bai Ningbing really did go bankrupt. She moved out of her huge villa and moved into the rundown little apartment I rented. When Ji Boda saw Bai Ningbing dragging a suitcase and showing up at my door, his jaw nearly dropped to the floor. What's going on here? I'm bankrupt. Bai Ningbing said it so casually as if she was saying the weather was nice today. Then she shamelessly made herself at home in my one-bed bedroom and settled right in. I slept on the couch. My brother was pretty excited at first, thinking his chance had come again. He hung around my place every day serving Bai Ningbing tea and water, trying to suck up to her. But Bai Ningbing completely ignored him. The cheesy poems he wrote, she treated as scrap paper. When he sang off-key love songs, Bai Ningbing just put on her headphones. After a few days, Ji Boda's fragile heart shattered into pieces. He finally accepted reality and slinked away in defeat. Without the halo of CEO Bai Ningbing seemed like a different person. She would wear cartoon pajamas and fight me for the TV remote. She'd get mad when I ignored her while gaming and secretly unplugged my internet cable. She would also, while I was cooking, sneak up behind me and steal the cucumbers I just sliced. She was no longer that aloof, high-and-mighty queen, but more like a cooperative roommate, a slightly troublesome but not annoying roommate. That night, I gamed until midnight. I went to the living room for water and saw Bai Ningbing sitting alone on the balcony, staring blankly at the night view outside. I walked over and handed her a beer. Something on your mind? She took the beer and took a sip. Nothing much. Just thinking that things are pretty good like this. Good how? I scoffed. No money to spend, no big house to live in, and every day you have to squeeze in with a jobless bum like me under the same roof. But it's very relaxing. She turned her head and looked at me, her eyes sparkling in the night. No more acting, no more dealing with annoying people and things. I haven't been this relaxed in years. She suddenly smiled. Ji Buchang, you know what? My dad freezing my assets actually doesn't affect me much. He can't touch my own investment company. I was stunned. Then why did you move in here? Because I thought it would be interesting. I wanted to see what you, the guy who kept saying he wasn't in it for the money, would be like when I had absolutely nothing. And the result? The result is you're even more of a jerk than I imagined. She rolled her eyes at me. But also a bit more reliable than I thought. I didn't say anything. Just opened a beer and took a sip. The night breeze was a bit chilly, but it felt really nice. Jibo Chong. She suddenly called my name. Yeah. Let's make this fake relationship real. I spat out my mouthful of beer. I started coughing violently, my face turning completely red. What did you say? I thought I misheard her. I said let's be together. She looked at me, her eyes completely serious, not acting. Not a transaction. Be my real boyfriend. I looked at her, my mind going completely blank. I had to admit, during this time together, I did have a slightly different kind of feeling for her. But it was only just a little bit. We were from two different worlds. She was a phoenix in the sky and I was just mud on the ground. You're drunk. I turned my head away, not daring to look her in the eyes. I'm not drunk. I'm completely sober. Jibo Chong, I like you. I like how real you are. I like how you never play by the rules, and I like the way you roast people. Being with you is the only time I feel like a living, breathing person instead of a money-making machine. Her words were like a pebble tossed into the calm lake of my heart, stirring up ripple after ripple. I admit my heart skipped a beat, but reason told me it wouldn't work. That contract between us, with a clause you are not allowed to actually fall in love with me, was still clearly written right there. By Ning Bing. I took a deep breath to calm myself down. We're not right for each other. How are we not right? In every way. You're rich and I'm dead broke. You have your bright, wide road and I have my narrow, single-log bridge. We're just not on the same path. Money isn't an issue, but my pride is. I looked at her and said very seriously, I can play your boyfriend for money, but I can't actually be your boyfriend for money. If I did, I'd despise myself. Bai Ning Bing fell silent. A hint of disappointment flashed in her eyes, but it quickly turned into understanding. I get it. Sorry, I was being too forward. After saying that, she turned and went back to her room. I sat alone on the balcony and downed the rest of my beer in one gulp. My heart felt completely empty. The next morning, Bai Ning Bing woke up very early. By the time I crawled off the couch, she was already fully dressed, back to her aloof, high-end mighty CEO persona. I'm heading back to the company. My dad has finally relented. Thanks for taking me in all this time. Her tone had reverted to the distant and polite way it was in the beginning. Oh. I replied, feeling a bitter taste in my mouth. She walked to the door then stopped. Ji Buchang, our contract is still valid. If I need you in the future, I'll still look for you. The pay remains the same. With that, she left. The door clicked shut, as if it also shut out whatever was just beginning to sprout between us. Ji Boda showed up right at mealtime. Seeing that Bai Ning Bing wasn't there, he looked disappointed. The goddess left? Yeah. I was cooking noodles, not looking back. I knew it. How could a phoenix really stay in a chicken coop? He leaned in and asked slyly, Hey bro, when she left, didn't she leave you a breakup fee or something? I scooped the noodles out and poured the broth over them. I ignored him. What's wrong with you? You look so out of it. He noticed something was off with me. Did you guys fight? No. Then you got dumped. I slammed my chopsticks onto the table with a smack. Can't you wish something good for me? Ji Boda was startled by me and didn't dare say another word. He just held his bowl and started slurping his noodles. Tastes pretty good. Just a bit salty. Maybe my tears fell into it. Bah, what the hell am I thinking? After eating the noodles, I told my brother about what happened last night. Ji Boda listened and was stunned for a long time. Then he slapped his thigh, looking at me like I was a complete idiot. Ji Buchang, oh Ji Buchang, did your brain get slammed in a door? A rich woman confessed her love to you and you actually rejected her? What are you after? After that worthless pride of yours? You don't understand. Damn right I don't understand. All I know is you just missed out on 100 million. He looked utterly heartbroken. If you had just nodded, you wouldn't have to worry for the rest of your life. No, you wouldn't have to worry for your next life either. What else do you care about? Whether you're good enough for her. She doesn't even care. Why the hell do you care? She doesn't care now, but what about later? When the novelty wears off, she'll start thinking I'm not good enough for her. What do I do then? Get kicked to the curb like a dog. So what if you get kicked to the curb? Ji Boda said with absolute conviction. Getting dumped by a rich woman isn't embarrassing. At least you live the high life for a bit. And now? You clung to your damn pride and you're still just a broke loser. Go back to eating your $6 ramen. I was left completely speechless by his rant because he was telling the truth. Bo Chong, G. Boda's tone softened. Bro, I know you've got high standards, but a man's got to face reality. With our kind of background, running into an opportunity like Bai Ningbing is a blessing from our ancestors. If you miss it, it's gone forever. He sighed. Think it over carefully. If you figure it out, hurry up and win her back. You're a man, having thick skin isn't something to be ashamed of. With that, he cleared the bowls and chopsticks from the table and took them to the kitchen to wash. I sat alone in the back living room, spacing out for a long time. Was my brother right? Maybe. But there was always a voice in my heart telling me that I couldn't do it. I can be poor, I can be a loser, but I can't live without a bottom line. My relationship with Bai Ningbing started as a transaction. If I agreed to her proposal, then our relationship would never escape the word transaction. That wasn't what I wanted. My phone rang. It was a text message from Bai Ningbing. 7 p.m. tonight. There's a cocktail party at the hotel where we had that charity banquet. Jukai will be there too. He recently dug up some negative news about my company and is planning to expose it at the party. Usual rules. Help me handle it. I looked at the text and gave a bitter smile. See. In the end, it was still just a transaction between us. When I arrived at the hotel, Bai Ningbing was already waiting for me at the entrance. She was back in her cold, elegant attire. Seeing me, she just nodded. The atmosphere was a bit awkward. Let's go. She broke the silence first and linked her arm through mine. Her arm was very cold. The cocktail party was buzzing with people. As soon as we walked in, we drew a lot of attention. The cake gate incident from the last charity banquet had made Bai Ningbing and me famous in these circles. Jukai saw us too. He was surrounded by a group of people toasting him. When he saw me, the hatred in his eyes was almost palpable. He walked over to us holding his wine glass. Well, if it isn't CEO Bai and her little boy toy. How was it? Did you enjoy the cake last time? People around us burst into laughter. It was all right, I said without changing my expression. The cream was just a bit too rich. Next time I suggest a fruit flavor, something a bit more refreshing. Joe Kai's face twitched. Don't get cocky, kid. He leaned in close to my ear. Last time Bai Ningbing protected you. Today I'm going to make sure you walk in on your own 2 feet and get carried out on a stretcher. Sure, I nodded. But before I get carried out, can you let me grab a bite to eat first? I haven't had dinner yet. With that, I bypassed him and walked straight to the buffet table. Bai Ningbing followed me. Ignore him. He's just a mad dog. I know. I picked up a plate and grabbed a piece of salmon. How was he planning to deal with you? He bribed one of my company's vice presidents and got his hands on a fake financial report. He wants to use this party to publicly accuse my company of financial fraud and make my stock price plummet. What about your company's real report? My assistant has it, but I can't reach him right now. Bai Ningbing's brows were tightly furrowed. I suspect he might have been detained by Joe Kai's people. So what we need to do now is stall for time and then find your assistant. Right. I stuffed a piece of salmon into my mouth and chewed. This is going to cost extra. Bai Ningbing glanced at me, her eyes full of complex emotions. 200,000, deal. Just as we were talking, Joe Kai walked onto the stage and picked up the microphone. Distinguished guests, friends, good evening, everyone. Everyone quieted down and looked at him. I stand here today, take this opportunity to expose someone's true colors. He pointed his spearhead directly at Bai Ningbing. Bai Ningbing, you look like a glamorous, strong businesswoman on the outside, but behind the scenes you're committing financial fraud, deceiving investors, and lining your own pockets. He held up a document in his hand. I have your company's latest financial report right here. It clearly states that your company is already insolvent and on the verge of bankruptcy. As soon as he said this, the entire crowd was in an uproar. Everyone's eyes turned to Bai Ningbing. Bai Ningbing's face instantly turned deathly pale. Joe Kai, you're slandering me. Am I slandering you? Everyone will know once they see this. Joe Kai sneered, preparing to project the document onto the big screen. The situation was incredibly critical. I looked at Joe Kai on stage, then at Bai Ningbing beside me, whose hands and feet were ice cold. I knew it was my time to shine. I dashed toward the stage at a full sprint, and before anyone could even react, I snatched the microphone right out of Joe Kai's hand. The entire crowd's gaze shifted back to me. Joe Kai tried to grab the mic back, but I kicked him away. I looked out at the dense crowd below, cleared my throat. Everyone do not believe a single word young Master Joe just said. Why? Someone in the audience asked. Because, I took a deep breath, then roared with every ounce of strength in my body, because he's secretly in love with me. He's doing all this just to get back at me. To get back at me for stealing his beloved woman by Ningbing. His love turned into hate. If he can't have me, he wants to destroy me. Tell me folks, isn't he a total creep? Everyone was dumbfounded. Joe Kai was dumbfounded too. He lay on the floor pointing at me, his mouth hanging open for a long time, unable to utter a single word. I looked at him, my eyes suddenly filling with immense sorrow and pity. "Ah Kai," I said in a heartbroken tone, "I know you love me, but you can't force love. I already have Ningbing. It's impossible between us. Just let it go." After saying that, I even winked at him. Joe Kai's eyes rolled back, and he passed out from sheer rage. Joe Kai was frantically carried away by his men. A meticulously planned corporate sabotage was just handled by me in the most absurd way imaginable. Naturally, the banquet couldn't continue. Bai Ningbing grabbed my hand, and under the jaw-dropping stares of the crowd, we left the scene. As soon as we got in the car, she slumped over the steering wheel, shaking with laughter. "Ji Bochang, you're an absolute genius." She laughed so hard she could barely catch her breath, tears streaming down her face. "How did you come up with such a wicked trick?" "It's called giving him a taste of his own medicine." I calmly buckled my seatbelt. "Doesn't he like throwing dirty water on me?" So, I threw an even bigger bucket of it right back at him. So much that he'll never be able to wash it off. Starting tomorrow, the rumor of the Jew family's eldest son secretly loving his rival and turning love into hate, staging the most melodramatic soap opera of the year, will spread throughout the entire circle. Joe Kai won't have the face to see anyone ever again. What about my assistant? Bai Ningbing finally managed to stop laughing and remembered the main issue. "Don't worry." I took out my phone and dialed Jibo's number. "Hello. Bro, it's done. The guy's been rescued. Not a single scratch on him. Those few punks guarding him were taken down by me in no time." "That's right." Before I rushed onto the stage, I had already sent the address where Bai Ningbing's assistant was being held to my brother. Even though my brother is usually unreliable, he's pretty good in a fight. He used to run with the gangs back in the day. Hearing the voice on the phone, Bai Ningbing looked at me in surprise. "When did you? While you were explaining the situation to me, I already had it all arranged." I hung up the phone. I was in charge of drawing fire on the front lines, and my brother was in charge of raiding their base from behind. Splitting up into two teams is the most efficient way. Bai Ningbing looked at me, her eyes showing genuine admiration for the first time. "Jibo Chang, I realize I've still underestimated you. It's not too late to know now. Remember to wire that 200,000 to my card. Also, my brother put in some work this time too. So, see to it that you give him a little hazard pay." "No problem." She started the car, her tone carrying a hint of a smile. "I'll give you however much you want." The car drove smoothly through the night. Soothing music played in the cabin. Neither of us spoke, but the atmosphere wasn't as awkward as when we arrived. After a long time, she suddenly spoke up. "Jibo Chang, thank you." "You're welcome. Just doing my job for the money." She fell silent for a moment, then said, "Not just for today but also for last time at my house. Thank you for not taking that 1 million. That was just me being stupid." I laughed self-deprecatingly. "If it were now, I definitely would have taken the money and run." "You wouldn't," she said with certainty. "You're not that kind of person." I opened my eyes, looking at the neon lights flashing by outside the window. Am I not that kind of person? Even I didn't know anymore. By the next day, I had become a legend in their circle. Everyone knew that Bai Ningbing had a man named Ji Bo Chang by her side. His background was unknown. His actions were eccentric. And with just his mouth, he could piss off the young master of the Zhu family so much that he fainted on the spot. Some said I was Bai Ningbing's kept boy. Some said I was her secret weapon. Others even said I was actually the heir to some hidden elite family just out here experiencing normal life. The rumors got wilder and wilder. My brother Ji Boda also received a 100,000 yuan bonus from Bai Ningbing for successfully rescuing her assistant. The way he looked at me now was no different from looking at a god. "Bro, you're really the pride of the Ji family now." He grinned from ear to ear holding the money. "From now on I'm following your lead." I ignored him because I was busy answering calls. My phone was blowing up. The calls were all from unknown numbers, but they were all rich people. Hello, is this Mr. Ji Bochon? I'm CEO Lee from Daxing Group. I'd like to ask for your help with something. Money is no object. Hello, sir. I'm Mrs. Wang. I suspect my husband is seeing someone on the side. I'd like to hire you to ruin their little affair. That's when I realized that battle didn't just make me famous. It made me go viral outside the circle. It seemed I had unintentionally opened up a brand new business sector. Professional trouble solver specializing in helping rich people solve the troubles they couldn't conveniently handle themselves. I looked at the endless stream of unknown calls, then looked at my bank account where Bai Ningbing had just wired me 200,000. I suddenly felt that my crappy little apartment was a bit beneath my current net worth. I rented a proper office. It wasn't big, but it was in a prime location. I even registered a company. The name was incredibly unpretentious. Trouble Terminator Consulting Company Limited. On opening day it was just me and my brother. I was the CEO and chief trouble solver. My brother Ji Boda was the head of security and the driver. Bai Ningbing sent over a flower basket. The card read, "Happy grand opening. May wealth pour in." It was signed, "Your number one client." Is this company of ours really going to work? Ji Boda looked around the empty office feeling a bit unsure. Relax. I sat in my newly bought executive chair crossing my legs. We're taking the high-end custom-tailored route. We might not get a gig every day, but one gig will feed us for 3 years. Right as I said that, the office door was pushed open. A wealthy woman dripping in jewels sashayed into the room. Excuse me, is this Trouble Terminator? Ji Boda and I exchanged a glance, both seeing the excitement in each other's eyes. Our first piece of business had arrived. I gestured for her to sit. Yes, it is. What kind of trouble do you have? The moment she sat down, she started crying and complaining. My husband is keeping a mistress on the side. That little homewrecker is barely in her 20s. She's a college student. My husband is completely bewitched by her. He never comes home and wants to divorce me. So, what do you want us to do for you? I want that homewrecker's reputation ruined. I want her to leave my husband on her own accord. Can you do that? I nodded. However, our fees are based on the level of the trouble. Yours falls under the family drama category. Starting price is 500,000. No problem. As long as you can solve it. Money is not an issue. She paid a 200,000 deposit on the spot. After seeing the wealthy lady out, Ji Boda rubbed his hands together in excitement. Bro, 500,000. We're going to be rich. Stay calm. I patted his shoulder. This is just the beginning. Go. Dig up everything you can on that college girl. Ji Boda's efficiency was off the charts now. He brought me the files in half a day. The college girl's name was Lily. She went to a film academy. She was indeed quite pretty. She usually liked posting selfies on social media showing off her luxury goods, making herself look like a peaceful, wealthy socialite. Bro, what's your plan? Hire people to make a scene at her school. Too low class. I shook my head. To deal with a gold digger like this, you got to fight magic with magic. I had Ji Boda register a new social media account. The profile picture was a buff, handsome guy we found online. The persona was a mysterious, filthy rich, second-generation heir who had just returned from abroad. Then, I started using this account to like every single one of Lily's posts and leave comments. The comments were incredibly pretentious. You're so pretty, miss. Are you an angel descended from heaven? This bag, I just bought one for my maid last month. She said it wasn't very practical. The security at your apartment complex isn't great. Want me to gift you a downtown villa? Just as a friendly gesture. At first, Lily played hard to get and didn't reply. But she couldn't resist me throwing money at her. I had Ji Boda go to her live stream and drop hundreds of thousands in gifts. Lily's attitude changed instantly. She started demanding me, chatting me up. Reading between the lines, she was dropping heavy hints. I strung her along for a few days, then asked her out to a high-end hotel cafe. Of course, the one showing up wasn't me. It was an actor I hired, a greasy, balding, pot-bellied old man in his 60s. I had the old man wear a rented designer suit, put on a fake gold watch, and take the phone logged into the rich heir's account to the date. Ji Boda and I sat at another table not far away watching the show. Lily showed up right on time, wearing a sexy slip dress and exquisite makeup. When she saw that man smiling and waving at her, the expression on her face was epically priceless. You're long out, Yin? Her voice was trembling. That's right, baby. The greasy old man smiled, his face full of wrinkles, revealing a mouthful of yellow teeth. "I'm your brother Adrian in the flesh. Don't I look more manly than in my photos?" Lily's face turned green. She glanced at the shiny, fake gold watch on the old man's wrist, then at the luxury shopping bag with a massive logo sitting next to him. Her expression was as twisted as if she'd been constipated for 10 days. "What's wrong, baby? Don't recognize me?" The old man reached out to grab her hand. Lily yanked it back like she'd been electrocuted. "Don't touch me," she shrieked. "You liar. Aren't you a rich heir? Why do you look like this?" "I am a rich heir." The old man looked innocent. "My dad has over a dozen relocation apartments. Baby, don't worry. If you're with me, I promise you'll live a life of luxury. Come here. This is the bag I bought for you, the newest model." He handed over the knockoff bag. Lily looked at the bag, then at the old man, feeling like her entire worldview had suffered a devastating blow. If she actually got with this old man, she'd have to wake up to this face every single day. She burst into tears and ran away without looking back. Jabota and I watched in absolute awe. "Bro, that move was way too wicked." Jabota gave me a thumbs up. "That's what you call a precision strike." I took a sip of coffee. She was never in it for love, just the money. I just made her see the ugliest possible truth that can hide behind money. That very night, the wealthy lady called. Her voice filled with joy. "Mr. G, you're a miracle worker. That homewrecker actually broke up with my husband today. She even returned everything he gave her, saying she was off to pursue true love." The remaining 300,000 balance hit my account shortly after. Our company's first gig wrapped up perfectly. From then on, our company's reputation grew bigger and bigger. Clients who sought us out got weirder and weirder. Some wanted us to help convince their son to quit being an influencer and come home to inherit the family fortune. Some wanted us to help test if their fiancé truly loved them. There was even a celebrity who wanted us to help manufacture some harmless scandals so his lukewarm career could get a boost from the negative publicity. G. Boda and I dealt with these bizarre people and situations every day. It was exhausting but also thrilling. I realized I was practically born for this. I could easily see through human weaknesses and then use the most direct, most effective, and most absurd methods to solve their problems. Binding Bing also became a regular client of our company, but she didn't come to me to fend off unwanted suitors anymore. She came to me to deal with business rivals. For example, there was a rival company that wanted to poach her core tech team. So, I disguised myself as a headhunter, approached the team leader, and painted him an even bigger picture. I conned him into going to Africa to inspect a diamond mine project that didn't even exist. By the time he realized he'd been scammed and came back with his tail between his legs, Binding Bing had already stabilized the team. Another time, a competitor maliciously hoarded raw materials to choke Binding Bing's company. So, I spread a rumor that those raw materials tested positive for strong carcinogens. Overnight, all the stock that competitor hoarded became dead weight and they lost everything. My methods got dirtier and dirtier, but my good reputation went down the drain. Many people in that circle feared me. They said G. Boda Cheng was a madman, a devil. There was nothing he wouldn't dare to do. They were right. I was a madman, but I knew I wasn't a devil. I was just a bigger trouble specializing in solving troubles. After the company got on track, I took a vacation. I drove that G-Wagon back to my hometown. My parents were shocked when they saw me. They looked at my car, looked at my clothes worth tens of thousands, and thought I'd joined some illegal syndicate. It took me days to convince them that their son was now the boss of a legitimate company. Even though the company's business was a bit unorthodox, I bought a big new house for my family and deposited a huge pension fund for my parents. Seeing the happy smiles on their faces for the first time, I felt that money really was a good thing. After coming back from my hometown, the first thing I did was go find Bai Ningbing. I took that no-password black card she gave me and handed it back to her. "What's this for?" She raised an eyebrow. "I haven't touched a single cent in there. I'm returning it to you now." She looked at the card, then at me. "What do you mean? Trying to draw a line between us?" "No." I shook my head. "I'm here to negotiate a new deal with you." I pulled a ring out of my pocket. It wasn't some expensive diamond ring. I had an old silversmith in my hometown hand forge it. The design was very simple, with the character Chang engraved on it. By Ningbing, I looked at her feeling a bit nervous, my palms sweating. "The company recently took on a new service." "What service?" "The marriage experience. The client is you. The service provider is me. The service term is a lifetime." I took a deep breath and got down on one knee. "The service includes eating with you, arguing with you, swatting away all the annoying flies for you, and always being by your side whenever you need me. As for the payment, I paused, looking into her eyes. The payment is you. So, boss Bai, are you willing to hire me? Bai Ningbing froze. There was surprise in her eyes. There was emotion and that familiar look of wanting to laugh but trying hard to hold it in. After a long time, she finally reached out her hand. You bastard, even your proposal sounds like a business pitch. I slipped the ring onto her finger. Not too big, not too small, a perfect fit. Later, Bai Ningbing and I got married. The wedding was very low-key, inviting only a few close friends and family. My brother, Ji Boda, as the best man, cried even harder than I did. Zhou Kai didn't show up. I heard that because of the secret crush incident, he developed social anxiety and hasn't left his house in a long time. My company is still running and business is getting better and better. The troubles are also piling up, but I'm not afraid anymore. Because I have someone by my side who will face all the troubles together with me.